Documentary title: 14 Days of Silence, The War That Didn't End. The war didn't begin with a single strike. It began with fear. For years, the United States and Israel watched Iran grow not just as a nation, but as a network of influence. From the Persian Gulf to the borders of Israel, Iran's presence expanded quietly, strategically, and steadily. To Iran, this was survival. To Israel, it was a red line. To the United States, it was a challenge to global order. Then, the shadow war became real. Explosions shattered the illusion of control. Precision airstrikes targeted military compounds. Cyber warfare disrupted critical systems. Oil routes became battlegrounds. The message from Washington was clear: limit Iran's reach. The message from Tehran was even clearer: we will not back down. Israel moved fast, and harder. For them, this wasn't diplomacy. It was existence. Missile systems activated, intelligence units deployed, cross-border operations intensified. The region stood on the edge of something far bigger than a regional conflict. And then, something unexpected happened. Silence, not peace, but a pause. A 2-week ceasefire was announced between the United States and Iran. Not out of trust, but out of necessity. Magnifying glass tilted left the hidden terms of the ceasefire. This wasn't a handshake deal. It was a calculated pause with unwritten rules. The United States agreed to halt direct military strikes on Iranian-linked targets for 14 days. Iran agreed to avoid direct attacks on U.S. bases and naval assets in the region. Both sides quietly accepted to reduce escalation in key flashpoints, especially in the Gulf. Backchannel diplomacy opened through neutral countries to test the possibility of longer peace. But here's what made it fragile: there was no formal treaty. No signatures, no guarantees, and most importantly, Israel was not part of this agreement. Direct hit the real objectives behind the war. This war was never just about territory. The United States had 3 clear goals: contain Iran's military and regional influence, protect global trade routes, especially oil, prevent a wider war that could pull in global powers. Iran's objectives were different, but equally strategic. Prove it cannot be isolated or weakened, maintain its regional alliances and deterrence power, show that any attack will come with consequences. Israel's goal was the most direct: stop Iran at all costs before it becomes an irreversible threat. 3 players, 3 different missions, 1 battlefield. Warning why the ceasefire may not last even during the 14 days of silence. Tension didn't disappear, it shifted. Israel continued military pressure in surrounding regions. Iran maintained readiness. Missiles were not dismantled. The United States repositioned forces but didn't withdraw. This wasn't de-escalation, it was preparation. Experts warned, this ceasefire is not peace, it's a strategic timeout, a moment to reassess, reload, and possibly restart. Globe showing Europe, Africa, the human cost lost in strategy, and headlines are the people. Families displaced overnight, children growing up under sirens, cities living between fear and uncertainty. For them, 14 days of silence is not a political move. It's the difference between life and death. Fire the bigger picture. This conflict is not isolated. It connects to global power struggles, economic stability, and ideological divides. A single mistake, 1 missile, 1 miscalculation, could ignite a war far beyond the Middle East. The world is watching closely, carefully, because everyone knows if this war resumes, it may not stop at 3 nations.